Okay, that was legit. Welcome to Thunder Goose Wadwast.
Wand Blast?
Wadwast.
Wadwast.
I'm gonna drink my lemon soda.
It's okay. What are we talking about today,
New
man?
series today. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. New series today. Why am I fucking slouchless? Slouchless balls. Why does it look so weird on the camera? Hey, you guys.
You. Shut the fuck up. I'm kidding. Please give me attention.
No. Shut up. So, we are starting a brand new series today. I don't think we decided a name on it, though.
I'm calling it
Tasty.
Summer Splash in the Past.
Calling it Not Soak City.
Did you like what one I said, though?
Yeah, Summer Splash.
In the past.
Yeah.
It sounded like it rhymed in my head. It doesn't, though. Does it?
Timeless Treasures. Is that what we said last
Yeah,
time?
we did.
Let's just do that.
Let's
okay.
do that.
Timeless Treasures it is.
Yeah.
And we basically want to talk about games that we believe are, first off, they're not only some of our favorite games, but we believe they perfectly exemplify like the top quality of what gaming can be.
Yes.
And today is the kickoff for that. And we thought of no other game to start this with than Joel's favorite game of all time. And
Tekken 2.
Joe and Mac 2.
Who?
Joe and Mac is the two cavemen on Super Nintendo, and they're fighting dinosaurs. And
Carmen Sandiego.
Where's
That's
where's
in the world.
Where's Pixar's Wall-E?
Treasure Hunt.
Treasure Hunt, the National Treasure Game Boy Advance adaptation.
Yeah.
That probably exists, doesn't it?
It probably does. I don't even hear you.
Shoot. So but to totally tease you the whole time, Joel's favorite game.
Undertale.
And it's a game we
It's
thought.
the best.
And this being the first episode is trial by fire for us. So we're going to figure this out also with you guys.
I'm not getting lit on fire.
But I see that you have a vestitude of notes. It's not the
You
right
said
word
you
for
had
it.
notes, bitch.
I don't have notes for this one. It's all in the dome,
You
bro.
told me that you did.
It's in my head. I got it all in my head, bro.
Okay.
I'm genius. I got notes.
I'm genius.
I got notes. I got my notes right here. I'm just kidding.
Prove it. Open it. Prove it to me right now.
Which page? Which page do you want to talk
I
about?
need to see the word Undertale on it.
Oh, I don't know where that page is. It's in here, though.
I don't motherfucker. I don't know where it is. It
It's
would
in
be
here.
on the.
Yes, we have notes. We're talking about this,
Yeah.
but all that bullshit to say is we're still going to try to figure out this timeline
Yeah.
mid podcast, and so keep an open mind. Tell us what you think is good, bad, what you enjoy about it, and if it works for you, because we want to do more of these, obviously, but only if it works for you and us. That's all.
True that.
So Undertale.
It's a game.
Yep.
Yeah.
How do you want to start this?
I mean, why don't we maybe just talk about kind of like our first feelings when we played it, our first like initial thoughts and all that kind of stuff, and then I can kind of because what I have written down is more so just I've done like just like Google searches and some YouTube videos. I don't remember the names. I will link some of the names in the link because for sure there's one person who I was watching pretty intently. So just like some like old school facts that I feel like you and I kind of writing down the ones that I think you and I could really relate to. What
Sure.
the fuck is going on? If that's not your wife, you're dead.
Oh, Google.
Kill them, boys. Google.
Kill them, boys.
What are you Googling? Why is Undertale such a
trying to
good
figure
ass
out
game?
who the guy to the soundtrack was.
Toby Fox?
He didn't do all of it, though, did he?
I think
what,
so.
What things did he not? He did. He was mostly a one-man team.
Mm-hmm.
But there was someone else that helped him.
Tammy.
Tammy. Who the hell is Tammy?
Tammy is the other artist.
Okay, that's what it is.
It's Toby Fox, Tammy Chang.
Okay, that's right. It's an artist, Tammy Chang.
And she did all the art.
Yes. Okay. That's what I was more so looking up. I was like, I didn't get that thing down
Yeah.
because I feel like we can say that that Undertale was a one-man development team, but it really truly
But a lot
wasn't.
of it was Toby Fox.
But a lot of it was Toby
Yeah.
Fox.
And then that's Timmy.
Is it?
So they
Okay.
put themselves in the game. Toby wanted to be the annoying dog, which is literally the dog's name in the game. And then Timmy was very original. I'm kidding, Timmy. We love you. And made herself Timmy.
It's adorable.
Or Tammy. Is it Timmy or Tammy? What am I saying?
You
I feel like I'm
you're
Tammy.
saying Temmy, like Temmy.
It's Tammy.
It's Tammy. Like my aunt. My aunt's name is
Miami. Tammy. Tammy. Tammy.
Undertale released in 2015. That's not where we're going. We were going somewhere else, weren't we?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Where are we going?
So I first heard about this as it released. A lot of people were like privy to it earlier because of how it came to be. But when I first heard about it, it was 2015. It kind of took the internet by storm. YouTube videos, Donkey obviously had a big one,
Had a really fun one.
But it was this indie darling that came out from a very small studio, one man with some help, or one person with some help, and as soon as it comes out, all you're seeing is Game Informer, like a 9 or 9 out of 5, 9.5 out of 10 or something like that. IGN 10 out of 10, I think, so they gave it. GameSpot like 9.5 out of 10. All these just like landslide like positive reviews. And I couldn't find people that were being contrarians too much to it beyond, oh, it's an indie RPG, that's boring, But like it
And
truly.
they didn't even fucking know. Anyone who said that this game is boring, you're a dumb bitch, and I don't care who you are. You are that.
It truly is like from what I could tell, kind of universally well received. And I think Metacritic still stands pretty high, which I'll pull up later. But so I found out, and I was super excited to play it. But I was also like going to school like super full time. I think when it came out, I had like 19 units and a part-time job, and I was just drowning in class and work, and so I would go to a coffee shop in Santee, and I would play it on my computer for about a half hour, and then study for like a half hour. And then I'd play it for a half hour, and then I'd study for a half hour. And then I'd be at that coffee shop too long.
Yeah.
And the coffee would for sure be cold before I was able to finish it. But it was, that's my and then to be honest, I don't even think I finished it initially.
Mm-hmm.
Like it took me a second playthrough to actually get truly into it.
Yeah.
But that first time, that's my first memory of playing it, is like literally at a coffee shop while trying to study.
That's awesome.
So
I'd love
that was
that.
2015. Yeah.
That's glorious. When did they put it on Switch?
2018.
I can't remember. I definitely played it
You played it on
my
PC.
computer first. So
Yeah.
I probably played it around maybe a year after you. I can't remember the exact. I'm trying to remember who. I know Donkey did a video, and I can't remember if it was before or after I had played it. Because his video was like, what, 2018?
15, 16.
Really? Was that old?
Yeah.
Dude, time flies. That's crazy.
I'll pull up. You keep talking.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, my first time playing it for sure was. It kind of reminded me when I was going through it, I was like, okay, this is an RPG that's like different. I didn't know like what my goal was. I loved the music. I already fell in love with like the first character that you meet, Torel, and
Flowey.
Oh well, Flower. Okay, sorry. Second person you meet.
2016 is when he put out the video.
Okay. So that's probably for sure when I played it because I was played it. I'm pretty sure before he did that, but maybe I played it right after. But yeah, I just literally remember just loving the way that it looked because it was simple. I feel like I hadn't played kind of like that, kind of like top down style kind of game. I mean, or 2D, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Like the pixel games, like I had been used to playing like just top tier games and like
3D
first person
assets,
shooter and
insane resolution.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then when it was like,
60
play
FPS.
this game on your computer, and so I'm sitting with my like whole like system, and I'm just kind of like, okay, well, this is weird, like because I'm just playing this pixel game, but I just absolutely fell in love with every character and the story. Like the story really got me the first time. I think still to this date, it's the only time a video game has ever made me feel like the characters, like the data, are like my friends. And I really remember like when you have like again, it's obviously a little bit of spoiler warnings for if you haven't played, but when you're fighting, I guess Azrael or Flowey at the very end, you are saving your friends, and dude, it really made me being like, I can't lose. Like it was like the first time where I felt like real, like if I lose, they could die, like maybe forever. Yeah, like yeah. Excuse me. So yeah.
I think it speaks to the strength of the characters,
Dude.
and that this game, the nature of it, and I guess to discuss the main gimmick is probably important here too. So I'll do that first. Combat is a random encounter on the field.
Mm-hmm.
So much like Earthbound, you're brought into which is by the way one of the main inspirations for it.
Yeah.
But much like Earthbound, you're brought into a screen where you can't see your party. You kind of just have a bar that shows that you have health and whatever, and then you see the enemy on screen. And you have actions like attack, defend, item, run, or whatever.
Right.
But one of them is also talk, and talk is how you can hopefully end the battle peacefully, which is an entirely fine way to play the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the strengths of this game is to produce 3 different storylines out of killing everything, saving everyone, or a mix, and they are all equally affecting.
Mm-hmm.
But the strength of the characters, and because of the way this game is with like the whole saving everyone, everything you encounter kind of becomes a character.
Right.
Because dialogue, talk to or console or whatever action that you do is communication. It's not just violence. And it colors that character in such a way that you can now identify this character with a certain tone.
Totally.
And that makes it, and the strong part is they're all good.
Yeah.
All the characters are awesome. You know?
Yeah, man.
I
just don't know how he did it. Like, I don't really know. Like, it's Undertale. So this is, I mean, we can get into it a little bit. Like he was for sure. I mean, you know, it's really funny is I bet we watched a lot of the same videos. Did you watch any videos on?
I watched 2. Did you know gaming and
what is it?
Did you know gaming? Those things you didn't know about Undertale. And then I watched a story synopsis just to make sure I was good.
Got it.
But there's not too much story there, to be totally honest, in terms of like events. You know,
right?
It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. But what the fuck were we saying?
I don't know, man. You started the point.
Oh no!
Like I was saying is what you said, and then. All right, I'll keep going. So,
No, I lost it. Okay.
You lost your train of thought. It's okay. The characters are all very strong, and what I actually wanted to do was actually ask you if you had like a top 3 characters, or if you had a list ready, because I have a list of 3 characters that I absolutely adore and will die for. Out of everyone.
Well, you can go first then.
Okay.
I mean, I probably do. I wasn't ready with a list.
I'll start.
You know?
Well, I mean, if you don't have a list, just say. Do you have 3 characters you could pinpoint as your favorite?
Yeah, I'd have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely, number 3 is Undyne.
That makes sense.
I really like Undyne, especially in Genocide. When you see the darker sides of Undyne and how brutal they can be. I don't know what the gender of Undyne is.
Yeah, I don't either.
But I'm gonna say they, because I'm not sure. Beyond that, just like kind of the tomboyish side of Undyne, of being like the angsty teenager who's also kind of badass, but also you easily topple in 2 of the runs.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I really do appreciate that vibe.
Dude, 100%. No, I think to me, like, not that the game, I feel like maybe it is actually when the game gets a little bit more serious is when you first encounter her. Like, it felt like the first, like, because you're kind of like fighting Papyrus and then maybe like a few like lower enemies, but she's like the next actual boss, right?
Yeah,
and,
well, it's the next region after the Ice Town.
Right, okay.
The Snow Town, sorry.
Exactly. So I like that one a lot.
The cave with the water or caves.
The soundtrack is fucking so good. Gosh, I love it. I mean, I really love the river person. I'm just playing the person that's like on the boat.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I just saw them on the list and I was like, okay. Which is really funny. I mean, I don't even know if it's go from 3, but I'm just gonna do this, and it obviously might change. But Sans for sure is like
for sure, bro.
For sure on the list. So maybe number 1, but for sure on the list. And like the humor that he has is great. And then I do again. To me, one of the greatest songs to come out of like this like generation is like Megalovania or whatever. Megalovania, thank you.
Which is from his original ROM hack.
Yeah.
That's by Undertale. Yeah, it was supposed to be the last boss theme of that game, but or it's supposed to be the last boss theme of this game, but it ended up not working as well for what he wanted. So the Earthbound Halloween hack, which was
Yeah.
a tournament.
We watched the same video. For
Yeah,
Sure.
well, that's just a kind of a known fact.
Oh, maybe it is.
But
Yeah.
that had Megalovania in it when he did it, and so that was one of the things that came over, and it just came over in the best possible way.
Dude, yeah, for sure. Like everyone's rendition of it and stuff like that is just money.
I was saying if Toby Fox hasn't made enough money on Undertale, he's probably made enough money on Spotify with how many times this song's been played.
Dude, 100%. Or he probably gets some royalty off of people doing covers of it. Probably, like, right?
Probably.
Like, I don't think that you can just
if he
do that
reinforces
straight
it.
up. Yeah. Because some of those, I mean, a lot of those I listen to
Yeah.
on like Spotify. So
There's a heavy metal version that I quite enjoy.
yeah, me too,
So,
dude, for sure.
My next character would probably be Papyrus, just because the awkward date you have with Papyrus when he shows you like his house
Good.
and his spaghetti.
It's so heartfelt.
Yeah,
It's
just
spaghetti.
it's really cute, and it's really tragic if you kill him,
Yeah.
because of that. But it's a fun date otherwise. So I added Papyrus on there.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Papyrus is great. I mean, I gotta go with Toriel.
Yeah,
Am I saying that right? Or Toril?
It's Toriel.
Toriel.
Like tutorial.
Tutorial.
Toriel.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fucking funny.
You didn't know that?
Nope.
I got you, bro.
Thanks. Thank
That-
you.
She's
Thank you, Toby Fox.
she's kind of the cap to the tutorial. That's the
Yeah.
boss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
I just love her. I just love her love for you, and I think it's the craziest thing in the world that you can just kill this woman right out of the gate.
You're probably going to accidentally because you do a
well,
million damage.
the first time that you play,
Yeah.
yeah,
I like that she's the wife of the of Asgore,
yeah,
and how that dynamic plays out if you kill her, and then you have to go talk to him later on.
Yeah.
It's really weird. But then if you don't kill her, she kind of is like one of the reasons why things go well in the end.
yeah.
So
It's like if you give him the pie or whatever, and
Right.
then, yeah.
it's a really fascinating.
fucking so good.
Yeah, she's a really cool and well done character, and like her roles in that world are really interesting.
Yeah.
My favorite character is Metatron, and always will be. It's
God
so
damn
dumb,
it.
and it's so dumb, and I have an absolute undying admiration for Metal Crusher, which is the one of the greatest soundtracks or songs in this entire soundtrack.
No,
Yep, you hate it so much. I know that.
do not like that
I
song.
love that song so much. It's the same with Spider Dance. I think. Those two songs I think are really really rad.
They're my two least favorite songs of
Yeah,
that.
I know.
It's so funny, dude. But I mean, there's no songs that are like, I hate it. I think it's just not my favorite. Like it definitely fits what it is.
Yeah.
Again, everything is perfect. I'm just saying it's.
I don't know if
I'm
they're
not playing that.
I don't know if they're my favorite songs per se. I think
Yeah.
my favorite song is probably still Undertale. It's
Yeah.
called Undertale.
Yeah.
And it's the song that plays as you start learning about the backstory of the world for the first time.
It's so good.
Which is like the butt ass end of the first playthrough. But
the butt ass end.
I just realized that's 3 words for ass.
Butt ass end, dog.
Yeah. Or I guess end, I guess isn't so much ass. Whatever. So but that song I think is just really, really good. And so is Save Your Friends, I think it's called. But it's the soundtrack that plays as you're rescuing Azrael
Oh yeah.
in the very end.
Yeah.
As Azrael's trying to, and like that's where I was just crying the
Dude,
entire
I know.
time.
So let's get into it.
Best moments.
Yeah. I don't know if I said my other favorite person, and I feel like all of them were said that I would put in my top tier.
Sure.
So,
Yeah. Do you want to say any more?
I mean, Flowey's awesome because he's a good villain. Like this game had enough villains to make me like very just invested.
Yeah.
So again, good villain is a key part of the story. And but I genuinely do think this game made me cry like so much, especially during like that fight. Again, it's like so heartfelt, so
Yeah.
so amazing.
The soundtrack is such a good
It just
tearjerker.
hits, bro. It just hits perfectly. I mean, I even remember crying a little bit when you, and I don't think I never beat it. I never beat the purging playthrough
Genocide.
or genocide one.
It's
Like, but when I got to Sans and then I was like fighting him again, love the soundtrack. Think it's super great and it's so cool. But there's a piece of you who's just like, man, like I just like killed everyone, and like this is
The
kind
world
of
is
like
empty.
yeah, it's brutal. So
Genocide runs the hardest for me because I think after
you just don't want to do it.
well, it's hard to do because it's like I spent an entire playthrough loving everyone and killing no one, and I fought for that. And this game remembers your playthroughs. Like if once you finish Genocide, like the game remembers that. And I believe you could still do a new game, but it's like weird about it.
Oh yeah. It says like, oh, you tried to reset. Like, there's like
Yeah.
very specific things you have to do.
Yeah, and I think you can erase your play data at some point.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you can do that for everything, right?
Right.
I mean, that was even something that Doki Doki Literature Club. I remember because we had played that first, I think, or I don't know which one came out. That one was
That was
after
2017 or 2018. Yeah.
Okay, then that's what reminded me of Undertale.
think it was
Because I remember
2018.
when Undertale was doing this, I was like, oh my gosh, it remembers what we're thinking. And then we were playing Doki Doki. It was like, oh, guess what? You have to delete me out of your system. I'm like, holy shit. Like, we have to like be interactive, you know? So I don't know.
What a crazy game.
Yeah.
What a crazy game.
Did you ever play the remake of it? Or not remake, but
the port to the
yeah.
new system with the new stuff on it?
I
No,
didn't. In my head, I was like, I already know everything. Like, I don't know another
right.
point to replay it.
The gimmick has already landed, and I think I'm good without it.
Yeah,
and not that I have anything against it.
No, it's great.
I know the twist.
You got a group, like the game got a group of 4 dudes, 2 who don't even like anime at all. Well, no, it was a Stuart David.
I think it was just you and me and
It was you,
and Ryan.
I think there was one other person I thought, but maybe it was just like that. But like, I think it was David. I'm almost 100% sure David.
I don't think
was
David wanted to sit through 4.5
That's what I'm saying.
hours,
That's what I'm
dude.
saying. I'm saying that I think
us
he was
three.
there. Whatever. Hey, David, let us know.
David might have been like out of town already at that point. 2018?
I think it was before that. Look it up.
I don't know.
No, but I don't know, man. It got again. Anyway, it got 3 to 4 dudes who were not all into this genre. I never played like
That was one of my first visual. Well, it wasn't my first visual novel, but it was
visual novel. Thank you.
Right,
yeah, I didn't play those, and then we were all like, "What?" I remember literally we were playing. And we're like, "Dude, did we get duped?" Like we're literally just playing a romance game. It was like, and again, I'm pretty sure it's 4 because my head is just 4, but like 4 dudes just hanging out. Playing romance, things like you're just being like.
I remember I brought home Luckies. I remember that.
You what? Oh,
me and Ryan brought home Luckies. I think actually.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Stu.
Maybe it was Stu. It was Stu or David for sure.
I don't friggin' know, bro.
Whatever. This is too long. I'm just saying it was crazy that it got us all together. We are literally about to leave, and then shit hits the fan, and we're like, "What the fuck?" And then shit really hits the fan because it kind of does the death thing. Oh no! And then it goes boom,
Back to it,
and you're like. Wait a minute. And so then it started getting creepier and we were just like all in.
Yeah.
We finished that whole game. We spent the whole day and just did it.
It's funny because it was like, you'll finish it in 2.5 hours and it took us like 4.5 to 5 hours almost.
Yeah.
My wife was annoyed. She had the right to be annoyed at that one. We took over their whole house.
That is true. We did take over the whole house.
Yes. So Earthbound. I mean, Undertale.
So Halloween
like
hack. I mean,
So I think it's time to go over some other parts of Undertale.
Okay.
But we didn't do best moments, did we?
No.
We should do that, huh?
Yeah. What are you talking about? I thought that's what you were talking about.
My favorite moment in that game is the twist. So the story twist of it, Asgore, right?
Mm-hmm.
A kid fell in.
Mm-hmm.
A kid died when he fell into the underground. So Asgore brought his body up to the humans, and they thought he killed him, and because of that, that's why they fought. Or was it Azrael who brought the kid up? It was Azrael's friend.
Azrael.
Yeah, it was Azrael's friend, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And the kid died accidentally. So Azrael brings the body up. All the humans attack Azrael because they think Azrael killed him, which is Asgore's son. So then Asgore starts a war with the above ground. So then this is when they get sealed in the ground because of that.
Yeah.
Azrael is the true final boss of this game.
Right.
One of the 3 final bosses, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sans, Azrael, and Flowey are kind of the 3, but they're each so different in so many ways. Azrael, there's a point where he just starts overpowering you. But if you remain persistent in like being a pacifist, which you can kill Azrael at this point, and it is a weird ending if you do that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that. It's not worth it. Save Azrael.
Yeah. Yes.
You can. There's just a moment when you're recalling on all your friends as you're saving Azrael, and the soundtrack changes to this very specific soundtrack, and it's an entire building line with a marching beat with like a snare. You know?
Yeah.
and it's just like this very victorious and like I could not stop crying. I could
Dude.
not stop tearing up.
Yeah.
By far my favorite moment in this game. Probably one of my top 5 moments in all games, to be real.
100%.
Next to like some original Nier moments that really messed me up. But
Yeah.
yeah,
That's literally mine.
Is
Is
it
my
also?
favorite? Easy, yeah, easy.
Okay.
Then I would say that is my favorite video game moment still to date.
Yeah.
Is that moment? Yeah, I mean, yeah, just literally the soundtrack. Everything is so perfect about it. I don't want to reiterate what you just said because you literally said it perfect today.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Let me
obviously
finish.
great.
Yeah.
Killing Turiel was very shocking for me.
Dude.
Because she has like 80% of her health, and you do a critical hit, and it does like an absurd amount of damage, like
It's like
9,000.
I think it's like 999
Yeah.
or whatever.
It's like oh my gosh, I wasn't even trying to do that. But the death itself is like just really heartbreaking because she kind of rescued you, and like she was trying to protect you the whole time, and then you end up just getting a little too violent, and that kills her. And that's a super shocking moment because then the music and the whole area is gone.
Yeah, it's like it's
And
like
then you
quiet.
just leave. And
Or you can stay for a little bit.
is there like new dialogue and stuff? There probably is, huh?
I think there is, unless I'm insane and you have to leave. I actually don't really remember now that I'm saying that.
It's a very shocking and stunning thing. So that's a pretty important moment, I think.
Oh,
also.
dude, yeah. I mean, how crazy is it that you programmed that? Like, like the story is like, hey, and like you can be a pacifist and just talk it out, and your mom, and if you wear her down enough, she will just like let you leave. Or you're doing like the normal video game thing. So most people's first playthroughs, they probably killed her.
Probably.
That is like a devastating blow because she's been nothing but kind to you and is trying to keep you from danger. But you, as just a person, as just like, shut the fuck up, tutorial. I'm just trying to get through the game, and then you kill her, and then you're like, okay, wait, I didn't mean to kill her. Like she's dead. Like you can't redo it. And
Yeah.
I love that the initial response is going to literally make people stop thinking that this is a normal game and jump into your world immediately. It's not like, here's another RPG I need to conquer. Here's another whatever. It's like just straight, you're in it now.
A lot of people don't like the switch puzzles or like the walking over certain things puzzles.
I'm not a big fan of puzzles.
I think that those are specifically there to try and like almost give you a false sense of what this game's going to be.
Totally.
And then the game doesn't have that anymore after that because it's not that. Mm-hmm. It's like, I thought it was a pretty smart way to kind of communicate that. Like, here's how a standard old school RPG could be, you know, with maybe some modern nuances. Not really. But then you kill tutorial, and it's just never like that anymore. It becomes a completely different kind of RPG.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I love it, too, because it is the tutorial.
Right.
You know, it's just, yeah.
Here's how you press a switch, you know. Here's how you find the hidden whatever it is.
Yeah. And then I get into, I mean, I think there are one or two slight puzzles throughout it, but they're not like major.
Well, they're not going to be in the same way of trying to. The colored floor puzzle that Papyrus tries to create at that one point that falls through. Like nothing really ever has that same.
Well, I was thinking that in the glowing lights, isn't there like a way to get to like secret areas and stuff that you have to do?
Yeah, the secret village or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's a.
So
hidden,
there is some
it's more of a hidden path,
but it is more hidden. Yeah, for sure.
My other favorite moment is when you can pet that dog's head forever and it extends past the screen.
Yeah,
and then to roundabout on the other side of the screen and then keep doing that over and over again until it covers the entire screen.
I don't understand. Like, Toby Fox is an amazing, amazing writer and storyteller. And, like, the fact that the characters are all so, like, just genuine. And they feel like they belong in this world. Right? What you're saying, like, it's just scratch, like, all the goofy shit that's happening. And then it's like its head goes out, comes back in, and you're like, dude, totally. Like, you're not, like, sucked out of being like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah. It's like you're in it and you expect it. So... I love it.
There is a little absurdity. Like I've been using that word a lot recently, but
absurdity.
I think it's kind of like really, really fun in this game.
Yeah.
But also like it does fit in the world, even though you would never see it coming. You know, like the whole dog watching in the dog shack. when as like the lookout dog or whatever. That
Yeah.
whole thing is hilarious, but stupid as hell, right?
Right. Yeah, it has no real
Yeah.
purpose because you never fight him. I don't think. Actually, you do.
You can fight him if you want,
Yeah.
but you can also sneak past him if you just stand still.
Yeah. Yeah.
Metatron's game show is hilarious to me. I know people are hit or miss on that one, but I freaking love it. Dude, like running from Undyne's onslaught of the spears.
I love
that's
that
like,
fight.
What the frick, you know?
Yeah.
Alphys is chill too. I know we haven't called out Alphys yet, but Alphys
Alphys is
chill.
great.
But Alphys is probably my least.
There's not a character I don't like in this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just
Yeah.
the one I think about the least. That probably is Alphys. Yeah.
Mm.
I would like to talk about the soundtrack now.
Let's do it.
How do we talk about a soundtrack on a podcast without sampling the songs?
We can sample some of the songs.
Can you do that in post?
Yeah.
You want to do it in here through the mic?
No, I'll do it in post.
Okay.
I guess.
Okay.
Well, you got to do like a few seconds. You can't do the whole thing.
We can do up to 15 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we could play it through here. Well, no, let's do
Sure.
it in post. Or now we're What are you thinking?
Let's do it on here.
Okay.
We can do that. Let's try it. We'll both pull it up. Just the OG, right?
Yeah, I just put.
This is riveting concept.
Yes, I believe it's under the. Yeah, this has everything.
Editor, put some bullshit in here while we're doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's one that I wanted
I'm the editor.
I wanted to point or play right away and see how this works. Oh nope.
That's metal, bro. It's literally just Undertale soundtrack. What are you doing? Are you just finding a rendition?
Yeah.
That's cheating.
This is the real song. It's called "Don't Give Up."
No, it's not.
This is what plays when you're trying to save
Yeah, I
everyone
know.
during Azrael's fight.
Yeah.
And it's what plays like that. It's a really good song, and the reason why it gets so good though is because if I do this right here.
I think that's close to 15.
It's just such a it's such like a hey, keep pushing on, you can do this, don't stop, I know it's hard, keep pushing on. Like
Yeah.
the song captures that
Dude,
perfectly,
Perfectly.
which I think is just probably the quality of Toby Fox. And
Yeah.
I know you're not listening, but I wish you were.
I wish you were. I'll
Um,
send it to you.
The
via
soundtrack, thank you. You should do that. The soundtrack captures tone very well. What's your next one?
Twitter.
Or what's your first one?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, that one for sure. But
Mhm.
let me. This one's always good.
Yeah, that's classic.
Yeah, it's just. It's a. That like just gets you going. It gets you right into like the world where it's like, it's boss time, baby. You better be running, you know. And it's just like such like a good fighting song. Like it's like a hype song. Like it definitely just gets you kind of like, all right, I need to beat this person. You
Yeah.
know, it was kind of cool.
That one, but that's Undyne, right?
That's
That is
Undyne.
Undyne's fight. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's just like after a hype fight of being like chased by this thing,
Yeah.
and finally fighting is
Yeah.
pretty rad.
It's super sick.
I have another boss theme.
Hell yeah.
You ready for this one?
Mm-hmm. 1,000,000%. Another like banger.
Right here.
All right, that's definitely 15 seconds.
Very, very. It was 21 seconds. Sorry. Very, very excellent. Boss.
Copyrighted our 10 views.
Well, almost final boss theme in
Mm-hmm.
in the neutral playthrough.
Right.
It's an excellent soundtrack.
Dude, yes.
I don't know how much to say beyond that. I don't think the instrumentation of pixel, analog, whatever it is, with some orchestral beats, super cool.
yeah.
What you got next?
I think this is the right one.
This has a moment in the song.
Yeah, this is not the right.
Boom. Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah. It's a super cool like atmosphere song.
Yeah, I do love me some atmosphere. Like I feel like I'm in the world, and like the music is just like I'm there. I mean, it's the best.
Yeah.
I used to fall asleep to that shit.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh. God damn it.
It's untouchable, man. It's untouchable.
Oh,
it's
this
so
one's
good.
better. Editor, put these fuckers dancing or something in here.
Oh, but dude, you know what's really good? Okay. Keep it going.
I just let it go for like literally.
Here, you ready for this?
Like the ghost. Isn't that playing?
Yeah, Spook Tune or Spook Wave, take your pick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is all so good. Dang,
None
man.
of these songs are like.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh.
This one is just perfect.
Oh man.
So, I mean, you know how, but Toby Fox and definitely inspired me to like learn the piano.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like once you can once you can play a piano or understand how pianos like work in terms of their key composition, you can write music so easily.
Yeah.
Like if you have a creative brain and you just learn how to read keys, it's so much more. You're equipping yourself to write music so well.
Oh.
Yeah, Toby Fox. I mean, and with how much piano is kind of interlaced into this soundtrack, it's very impressive that he created. I think there's like 100-something tracks, right?
Yeah.
It's like 100+ tracks that he developed for a game. That most of these tracks stand on their own. Now, of course, there are some short ones and ones that aren't very long, and of course there are ones that probably are only a minute and a half long, but they serve the function of what the game needs them to.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
100%.
And I don't think you can say anything higher about a soundtrack in a game.
Yeah. I think it is my favorite soundtrack to any
In a game?
Yeah.
It's not mine for sure, but
Yeah.
I have.
But I also in the defense of people out there going, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like I really haven't played a ton of like RPGs and stuff like that are like usually those are the ones that are like, let's make a score, like even Final Fantasy, like listening to that is like gorgeous. Like it is really, really good.
Yeah, Final Fantasy X's on that list for me of like.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
soundtracks.
again, I listen to the soundtrack every single time.
Chrono
Like,
Trigger, same way. Donkey Kong Country too. I think David.
dude, I was just playing that the other day, and I was like, yeah, man,
it's banging, bro. There's some slapping tracks. Yeah.
Slapping.
David
We're
Ross.
cool, kids.
I think his name is David Ross. Was the composer for that. But just an incredible composer for Rare back in the day.
You're right.
So okay. Undertale succeeds in its musical front. That's all we're trying to say.
Yeah.
And I know that listening to us play our phones next to the mics ain't ideal, but until we figure out if we want to do that in post in the future, like what that actually entails, that's a lot of work.
This ain't Joe Rogan.
This ain't Ro Jogan.
This ain't Bo Bowen.
This ain't Gan Joran.
Ba, 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 ba.
Okay, so what's the next, what do we want to tackle next for Undertale?
Let's talk about, I guess, kind of just the creative process, like what we think about it, maybe some history.
Yeah.
We've already touched a little bit on that kind of stuff, but I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess if you guys don't know, we don't know a ton either. We can definitely post some stories that might go way deeper than, we will on this podcast. But I mean, I think, kind of, especially as people who are like maybe in a perfect world would be like video game developers, right? Like I think looking at someone like Toby Fox and kind of seeing how he came into being what he is now, is always inspiring.
Yeah, people like Toby Fox or Tom Happ. If you don't know Tom Happ, that's the guy that did what's that sci-fi Metroid game that came out? That's got the guy with the gun that can go through walls. Oh, geez, Axiom Verge.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
People like that are just people that are like these one-man armies that develop these beloved like indie gems that are, I think, honestly, also big shout out to Axiom Verge. Really cool game, if not a little too easy, but another awesome.
He's underhanded.
It's just the ending. The end of that
it's
game.
Great. I love it.
It's
fucking easy as shit, though.
Yeah, well, it's super hard until like the end, which is like, okay, well, the last boss is pretty. Like I crouch, and then again, there is a weapon in the game that breaks the game. I think intentionally, and it's hard to get for reasons. So maybe I'm just being a priss, but regardless, priss. The people like that are inspiring, and they're just jaw-droppingly incredible to see like what they can create and how they have become basically like celebrities. Like Even I'm thinking of the guy that did Ben Esposito's, who did Donut County. Just one guy again, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
The one that eats the donuts, like the hole.
The hole in the ground.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
okay.
one guy.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and he did the soundtrack too. I
That's
believe.
cool. I don't really remember. It doesn't stand out to me because I didn't really play the game a lot. So I don't know.
Good soundtrack.
Good soundtrack.
Fun game too.
Cool.
Becca and I played it together. It was one of the first games we ever played together.
You guys are like holding the phone together, going like this.
I don't know. We just took turns.
Bigger!
I think I let her do more levels than me probably, but
Probably.
it's fun to have your partner just like play games with you and
Hell
be
yeah.
able to watch them and enjoy them with them. So,
Absolutely.
what are we on? What are we talking about?
We're talking about the past and like, you know,
Oh yeah.
what inspired him, how does that inspire us, yada yada yada.
Yeah, I will say for a game that's I don't know if it's 8-bit. I don't think it's or 8 or 16-bit maybe, right? It's got a fair amount of colors, but it probably doesn't strictly hold that too much. It's just very the colors aren't super varied for a reason, just in
Right.
terms of design. The way they use black as like a background effect is just very effective as well. And
Dude,
I'm
yeah.
constantly impressed.
It's very inspiring
Yeah,
because it makes it also easier to do, but it can look lazy, and his just does not at all.
there's simplicity in the art style that somehow is executed effectively and completely without feeling like it's half-assed, right? Like somehow he made the lack of coloration work in his favor. I don't know what it is. It's kind of crazy, but he developed a game in 2015, or well, I guess 2013, 2012, whenever he started doing it. I think it took him 4 years.
I think so. I'm trying to remember.
4 years or than that. But to be that edgy and or not edgy but ballsy and take the risk of, hey, we're gonna do super minimalistic color design and art style, and then hopefully shove it out and see if it works. And you guys,
they said that they did it in Microsoft Paint and Graphics Gale.
Yeah, they did.
And I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah. It's not a lot of and Microsoft Paint's not the worst pixel.
No, it's not. It's actually really good.
Not to say that like how
I mean, look at these.
good endorsement.
To be honest, this is gives me some confidence because these look awesome, and they're not complicated.
That dog is incredible.
It is incredible. Yeah, I feel like I suck at doing pixel art.
But you can see they started with like a 1 to 2-bit style and then just went with it, and it's just fully impressive, dude. Like,
Dude, I love it.
This is the kind of art assets I wish I could develop. You know.
You can.
Well,
And
maybe,
you will.
Maybe one day.
Today.
Tonight. Shit.
Bye,
Done.
guys.
I am very impressed by the creativity of it.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say beyond I am astounded by the way it all comes together. But
Yeah.
it's one of those games that I think one of those rare games where the soundtrack, the visual style, the story, and the characters all work very well with each other and not just individually together. You know, Chrono Trigger is another one of those games that kind of somehow did that.
Totally.
But
Yeah.
it's just not something you see very often, I feel like.
No, it's not. I mean, it's cool because I feel like he, I guess like kind of like the story is like he at 4 years old played the Earthbound or whatever, right? And then he said that game kind of helped him learn how to read, and that it just kind of changed his mind forever, right? Or he transformed his mind, I think is like the quote. And I feel like Undertale did that for me, not the helping me read part, but maybe.
But maybe.
But just like I think it really changed how you can make games. Like it gave me an individual who is a storyteller but not really like a game developer, like it gave me confidence, not that I'm like I can make a game cuz he made a game, but just this idea of look, we used resources. Like he started on RPG Maker 2000 and went to basic things. I think it was like Game Maker Studio and
which is a good Hyper Light Drifter,
Totally. Yeah. Now, I mean, it's amazing. But I'm just saying, like, it kind of like the beginnings of processing and moving to other things. It's like me. Like, I messed with a lot of RPG Maker stuff, and in my mind, I'm like, cool. Like, this is like this kind of interesting progression. And yeah, I don't know. He's just a super, super inspiring person. But to me, it just is super fascinating that he kind of slowly, gradually got to here, like just making kind of stuff, and then what was it that the ROMs, the Earthbound, ROMs.
The Earthbound Halloween hack.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was like his most like famous one for it. Did you ever play that one? I haven't played it.
No, I haven't played any of his demo stuff or any of his ROM stuff.
Like ROM
but
stuff.
That's where he got some notoriety was from that.
I'm like kind of wanting to play it now. I bet I could find it and put it on like the Retroid and play it.
I bet you could. That'd be kind of rad, honestly.
That would be kind of cool. Just to
Yeah.
see it, like the old Toby Fox.
The
at work.
inspirations, right? Because you wonder what carried into Undertale, what carried into Deltarune, And
Totally. Oh,
Deltarune.
dude, that's just shit.
Yeah.
We can talk about that a little bit if you want.
Well, I didn't finish Deltarune Chapter 1, so
You only?
I didn't.
What?
I got through most of it, and I kind of fell off it.
Dude, Chapter 2 is great.
I believe it. I just didn't get to it yet.
Yeah, no, again, it's weird because it's like set for sure in the same world, and then there's times where I'm like, these are for sure some of the same people, or it's like a prequel and the before, like not like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then he's like, no, and you're like, okay. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just wasn't in the mood for a story-heavy game, I think, when I was playing it.
totally.
I just
I get
fell off
that.
it, and maybe I'll get back to it, but
Get up in there, bro.
yeah.
When you're ready, but get up in there.
Eventually. I need to take care of that. It's definitely on my list of like, hey, when Deltarune is complete, it'll be seminal. Like, it'll be important.
Dude,
You know?
yeah. Well,
But-
he's going to release the last bit, and it'll be a full game. It'll be chapters
Yeah.
1 through 6 or whatever.
He's going to finish it out.
But
Yeah.
we have to pay for 5 through 6. He gave us the first 2 for free, but we
Four
3
through 6.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
3. I was like, wait a minute. Yes.
And if it's like, because it sounds like Deltarune might be close to like a 20-hour game, not a
Well, yeah, because the first 2 I think are at least 2 to 3 hours, so maybe
Yeah.
more depending on what you do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like 2 to 4 hours times what 6?
Yeah.
So at least 18 to 24 hours.
Which is good because I like substantially long games, and I have a problem with that. But
Yeah, you do have a problem with that because sometimes it's just too long.
it is too long. There's a big argument for Persona 5 being too long, but everyone absolutely adores that game.
Oof.
Elden Ring kind of is too long also.
Elden
but
Ring.
I did just finish it well, that's not fair. I did almost everything I could in that game. I did it about 70 hours, 60 hours. But then again, when I mean, it wasn't my first time playing through, and I'm fairly decent at it at this point. So I will say real quick, this is a deviation to Elden Ring. I love Dragon Lord Placiduous Axe. Such a fun dragon to fight. Okay,
It is really fun. Right?
back to Undertale. My bad.
Undertale. I think we were on Deltarune a little bit, but
Deltarune,
yeah.
yeah. What would if you had to rate Undertale?
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
11 out of 10. Honestly, for real, 11 out of 10.
Yeah.
I honestly think it's the perfect game because there's not anything besides maybe genocide being so hard. But then in my head, I'm like, that you want it to
It's
be.
supposed to be.
It's supposed to
the
like
last thing
be,
you do.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So to me, there's no real things because I don't know if I would even change that. It's just I know it's a complaint that other people have had. In my head, I'm like, I as a player don't have any problems with it at all.
I would give it a solid 10 also.
Mm-hmm.
I whether or not it resonates perfectly with me, which I don't know if it does or not. I think it's an amazing, amazing game. I've beaten it 3 times. I did full normal pacifist genocide once, and I did a normal playthrough twice, intending to go to pacifist, but I fell off the second time, both times, and that's why I don't think the standard playthrough matches up to pacifist. And I think having to get to pacifist by doing a standard playthrough the first time, which you kind of have to with the way the game's set up, if you don't have previous save data, is a bit of a bummer. But beyond that, it's still a solid 10 out of 10. Fantastic.
I personally like that element.
Yeah.
Because again, even you're talking about liking long plays. It's a different game.
It is.
Like
100%.
like all 3 versions, if you do it specifically, are completely different games. You get almost, I want to say at least 50%. It feels like different dialogue, maybe more.
Oh, it's more than that. Yeah.
So you know what I
Yeah.
mean. So it's definitely a huge difference. And there's like secret shit in there. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Every time you talk about it, I feel like I need to download it and play it again.
I'm going to for sure.
Yeah.
You know what's fun? I haven't played any of these. And Toby Fox, I don't know if this makes you mad or not, but I'm sorry if it does. And if it does, let me know, and I won't play them. But there's been a lot of fan games, which I feel like he would dig because he did ROMs. But and I haven't played them yet. But like they look really good, and look like they're
really?
like people are trying to like kind of do things like what if in this world this happens, or maybe if we made like what does a darker version look like, or what does like a I don't even know. I mean, that's what I've only seen is a little bit darker, and then
Gotcha.
one that was kind of like the story continues. They're trying to add more to like the story, which again, very cool to some degree. If they're good, maybe they're horrible, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's really cool that Toby Fox was inspired by something, started making games, and then making ROMs of the game that he loved, and then he made this amazing game, and then now people are doing kind of the same and maybe becoming the next whatever.
Yeah, it's
So-
people like him, I think, that are. This is probably the most cliche thing to say, but I think that's like the blood of the gaming industry. Is those indie developers that are able to.
But yeah, man, AAA's been fucking sucking
Yeah.
booty for like the past, I don't know. When did Red Dead 2 come out?
2018.
Probably around that time, because I feel like there's a lot of good titles. Because like Cyberpunk's been shit. Like the new Battlefield was horrible.
I don't know. Sekiro came out after that, and Sekiro
Okay,
is-
Sekiro's good.
But I
Sekiro's
don't know if
good.
you want to call it. Is Sekiro AAA? Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Especially now, Elden Ring made them a AAA if they weren't before. But I think Dark Souls is even AAA because it's good, or at least the remaster.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. I think AAA is more of a developer classification than a
Okay.
game classification.
Got it.
AAA.
Then I don't know.
But AAA, maybe it's a budgetary thing also. So all I know
Let
is
us know
that
if you know your battery types.
indie has been kind of the darling. Because what was last year? What was the big game that everyone was super into? Hades, was that last year?
Oh yeah, Hades.
You know,
yeah.
that's super massive. That's or not super massive. That's super giant. No, guys that made
Supersonic.
guys that made Bastion, guys that made
What?
Transistor. Jeez, the company.
2 games I've never heard of.
Bastion, Transistor, really? No.
No.
And then
I don't
the
play-
dodgeball one,
Trash. No, I'm just kidding. I have no
Pyre.
idea. I've never played them.
Empire. Well, it's that company. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but sorry,
Are they
But
big? Are they small?
they're small.
Okay.
I'm sure it's a team of around 20 or in that range.
That's cool.
But Hades was the darling last year. You know.
Yeah.
So it's weird to see indie games kind of taking this crown for a bit, and Undertale makes you realize that I could still have it again.
It's cool too because I feel like indie games, it just gives people like a shot, and I will say there's a lot of like weird stuff in the world, but this generation I feel like of like even of people our age and a little bit younger that are like, oh, like I'm curious about video games, and yes, like let's play these huge like things like Halo and blah 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 that are like coming out, but then like even itch.io in a way like there's games on there that people have made and put a ton of heart into.
Yeah.
And it like just finding that stuff and there's like, hey, if you give me like, $10, you can have this game, right?
Yeah.
It just like is a downloadable thing. And like I'm like, that's like so cool because then you're like supporting these people. I don't know, man. It's just I've played a handful of indie games like off of itch or even off of Steam, and I feel like I've loved all of them, even like the ones where I'm like, it's kind of generic. It's just cool to see.
It's impressive still.
Yeah.
Yeah. By all means, man, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. What do you got to say?
No, people should play Undertale. Oh, what is the bubble one you want to say?
That's pretty fucked up, dude. I wouldn't say that if I was you.
I think Undertale is a game everyone.
Under game.
I think
It's a
Undergame
good
is a tale
tale.
everyone should tail. Is a game everyone should play.
Yeah.
No matter if you're into games or not. It's
100%.
it's not a very difficult game.
I did try to make my wife play it, and we're gonna make it through. We had a lot. I feel like the timing wasn't right on my end, but I was like, you need to play this game. And I think it was like when she was pregnant, and like there was like extra stresses or whatever. And in my mind, I was like, this will be nice and relaxing. But I kind of forgot, like, if you're not playing video games a lot, like you die a lot, right? And then
Yeah.
unless you're kind of used to kind of pushing through that kind of thing, like we were just like, I don't want to play even anymore. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
no.
I don't think my wife was into it either, but she doesn't like games with a lot of violence in them. And this game can be very violent.
I mean, I guess if you do that,
Yeah.
go that route.
It's
It's also it's almost the least violent game of all time, unless I guess you do the genocide one, and then
it's still
Mhm.
violently sad in some ways when you kill stuff. And
I mean, yeah.
yeah. So.
They are real people that have families and emotions. The game,
Definitely.
if you kill people, the game is like, you did this, you bastard. Which I love because Toby Fox was like, he wanted like the enemy to have some sense of feeling instead of when you're like playing an RPG and you're just like walking through and then like the same pixel art of an enemy comes at you and it's like they attack, you heal, and then you attack and they die, right? And it's like this constant cycle. So he wanted to like break out of that and I feel like it was just done in such a good way.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair, though.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. I love it, dude. I love you, Toby Fox. I want to get married.
Well, that's all I have for Earthbound. I mean, Undertale.
I don't like that you keep doing that. They're different games. Although the thing that he talked about how like the striped shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both of them. He's like that might be a dead giveaway.
Oh, they're different games for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they really are. I just love Earthbound so much though.
Yeah.
Never as a game captured comedy in that way.
Dude,
since then.
I feel you.
Except for maybe Katamari Damacy.
Maybe Undertale though.
That's true. It's got some good comedy. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Good.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
11 out of 11.
All right. Timeless Treasures. First episode down. We definitely fumbled through that one, but we're going to keep working on this this format, and we're going to keep doing this because I think we want to talk about games.
Yeah. And if you don't like that, fucking
Just kick it.